Hey YouTube, this is Green Valor, and I just want to talk about a petition on change.org that I came across, and this is in relation to the Brexit issue that I'm in full agreement with, by the way. I don't know if people got that from the videos. I am in full support of the UK, Britain becoming its own sovereign country. I'm happy about that. I definitely should. The EU is completely corrupt, and they need out. I get that. And I was in full support from the beginning. But this petition is for, well, it's essentially free movement and free trade between these four countries. So Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and Britain, or the UK. Now, thing is, yeah, it says there's similar policies of the European Union. So I guess in the European Union, they uh, they had this sort of thing between the countries I didn't know about, where you had that freedom of movement, no work visa, nothing like that. You just move to that country, that's your residency. There's no payment, no nothing, because you're part of the, you know, that, what was it called? Well, the colonies, really. I don't know what the fucking, I have it in the back of my mind, but basically, yeah, the Commonwealth. You're part of the Commonwealth. So, essentially, these countries were formed by British migrants who went to other countries and settled there, like Australia and Canada. But they all have strong ties to the Commonwealth still. So we're still tied to Britain and Canada, to the Queen and all that. We still pledge loyalty to the Queen, right? That's actually, and a Canadian will tell you that is part of Canadian heritage. We still pledge loyalty to the Queen and whoever's in power at the time. It's just one of those symbolic things. And this agreement would allow free trade, free movement throughout these countries. And honestly, I'm not really opposed to that. Because these four countries stem from the UK, stem from Britain, and honestly, they're really civilized cultures. Uh, of all four of them, New Zealand, Australia, Canada, and the UK, and Britain, which is now separate from the European Union, it doesn't really have that opposition from the European Union to say no, we don't allow this because Britain is separate now, just like Australia. Australia is separate as well, and I'm not sure about New Zealand though. I'll have to look into that. But if New Zealand's separate, then it would just be agreement upon them, and it wouldn't be that crazy. The only problem I have with this is my own country, Canada, because Britain, Australia, and from what I understand, New Zealand, I'm not too sure. Again, New Zealand's kind of lost to me, but they seem to be pretty intelligent about the immigration issue. I don't want to say they have a hard stance against it because they don't, but they're willing to take extra measures to make sure they're not importing, terrorists. Not just terrorists, but people that are actually from Syria, not fucking people from Afghanistan and Iraq and North Africa. None of that shit. Make sure they're just taking in Syrians, like, because they're the actual refugees. But in Canada, I'm not quite sure we have the same deal. Now, to be fair, I know we haven't really taken in a lot of people from Afghanistan or any other countries that weren't Syrians. I know we do have actually stricter measures than uh, the right wing would let you believe. We really are only taking in Syrians, but I'm afraid that because of weak little bitch Trudeau, we will end up taking in others that are not in need, economic migrants, which I don't approve of. And once they become Canadian citizens, because the way Trudeau has this legislation put out, as soon as they come to Canada, they're Canadian citizens anymore. There's no process, right? There's no years of process, not like America still has. He wants them integrated properly and just completely off the bat, which I disapprove of. I don't believe. But if these four countries come together and they sign some sort of legislation agreement upon, they'd have to agree upon a certain standard of migration from other countries. That's another thing. I think Canada would benefit from that if we just, if we came together with Britain and Australia, because they're really against fucking like economic migrants. They'll send you packing if you sail over there. They've done it before. They've taken out armed guards and just like, nope, you're going back. You can't land here. We'll fucking shoot you. They have no problem doing that. But in Canada, no. I blame Trudeau because I know Harper wouldn't have done it. I'm just saying. I don't know anyone. I don't think the NDP would have done it. I think Trudeau's just a little weak little bitch. That's just my opinion. But I think that because Britain has a stronger foothold and we have respect for the Queen, if she decides that we should have a stronger opposition to economic migrants, then I think Canada would follow suit, and I think Trudeau would respect her decision. And I believe that our countries would come to a solid agreement because we're all fairly civilized compared to these countries that, you know, suicide bomb each other and behead each other. And well, fuck, it's like when we came to Canada initially and we just saw these fucking people scalping each other. Like, it's same fucking deal. You look over here like, well, how am I supposed to call this civilized? Now there's certain aspects that are really nice, and a lot, certainly I would say a majority that are not happy with the situation over there, which is why they want to come out from there. I understand that. But you have to understand that the major culture there, even though the people don't want the violence, the culture is almost asking for that. And you have to understand that. So I agree with this petition. I'm going to link it in the description. And I already signed it. It won't do much to change the org petitions. It's just more of a, if the government sees it and they see how many people actually want to go through with it, then they'll be like, all right, well, maybe we should try to push it through. It's more of it's a way for the people to get together and talk about something and voice their opinions, really. That's what these petitions are. It's like petition Sargon had about the reform of the social justice course. It's like, yeah, this won't actually do anything. It's just to voice our opinions, and if someone higher up sees it, then they'll want to change something. And that's what it is. But I don't believe this would be a negative. In fact, with Britain being its own sovereign state, I believe this would benefit us greatly if we have free trade amongst these countries. And, you know, I'd probably move to Britain. If it was that open, I want to move over there. They got a lot of pride. It's a hell of a lot easier to move to America. And you can just, yeah, you can move to any one of these 4 countries. You know, it seems pretty good on paper. And to be fair, these 4 countries are very liberal. I know that. They are actually fairly liberal. They have some certain hard-line right-wing views, but they are incredibly liberal. But this video's gone on long enough, and that's just my opinion on this petition. I'll put the link in the description. If you want to sign it, go ahead. You know, if you're opposed to it, it's fine. I want to hear your comments about it. If you're all for it, I'd like to hear it too. If you have something a little in between, just your opinions, I don't mind. Just throw it in the comments. I want to hear about it. And like or dislike the video, of course, depending on your opinion. And if you like the content, subscribe. This has been Green Valor, and you guys have a good day.